Welcome to Life Spark Narratives, where real stories ignite resilience. Have you ever dreamed of running a marathon? The idea itself seems daunting, but have you ever considered what it might be like for someone facing physical challenges with each step? Today's narrative dives deep into the world of ultra-endurance runner, blind Paralympic medalist and Guinness World Record holder, Mike Schultz. But before we begin, please take a moment to support us. Your engagement helps amplify these powerful narratives. So without further ado, let's embark on an extraordinary journey that proves that the human spirit knows no bounds. Mike was born into this world with something called caudal regression syndrome. To put it simply, the bottom part of his body didn't form properly. This meant that he had no knees, ankles, or feet. Because of this condition, walking was really hard for Mike. He had to use crutches to get around. When he was a kid, people often stared at him with pity in their eyes. Sometimes they even said unkind things about his imperfect body. It must have been very painful for him to hear these hurtful words and to deal with people's strange looks all the time. You can probably imagine how tough it was for Mike growing up under these circumstances. At some point, he thought about giving up, about ending his life. The world can be a harsh place, especially when you look different from everyone else. But here's the thing. Despite all the difficulties, Mike held on to a small ember of hope deep inside him. This ember was his desire to show everyone that he was more than just his physical limitations. He wanted to prove that his spirit was strong and that he could achieve anything he set his mind to. Mike didn't let his condition define him. Instead, he decided to focus on what he could do, refused to be limited by what others thought he couldn't accomplish. As Mike grew older, that small ember of hope within him grew into a roaring fire. He became determined to break through the barriers of his physical limitations and achieve something truly remarkable. In the depths of his soul, he knew he was capable of achieving greatness. And so began Mike's journey towards the Marathon des Sables, one of the most grueling races in the world. The Marathon des Sables is a 250-kilometer race across the Sahara Desert. Imagine running that distance with your upper body only, carrying everything you need on your back, including food and water. It's almost impossible to comprehend the level of physical and mental toughness required to complete such a challenge. For Mike, it wasn't just about conquering the Marathon des Sables. It was about proving to himself and the world that he could achieve something that many able-bodied people would not even attempt. Training for this marathon was no easy feat. There were days when Mike collapsed from exhaustion, when the pain was unbearable, and when tears streamed down his face as he pushed through the agony. But through it all, he never gave up. Every time he fell, whether literally or figuratively, he whispered to himself, "I must stand up again." This mantra became his lifeline, pulling him back from the brink of despair and urging him to keep going. And slowly but surely, day after day, his steps became slower, but also stronger. His disabled legs, which had been a source of ridicule and pity, now became his tools of empowerment. They were the instruments through which he was composing a symphony of resilience. With each step, Mike was not only training his body, but also forging an indomitable spirit within himself. As he progressed in his training, people started to take notice of him. They saw him not as the pitiable man with the missing legs, but as a determined athlete pushing through immense challenges. His story began to unfold like ripples in a pond, spreading awareness about the strength and capabilities of people with disabilities. Finally, the day of the race arrived. Thousands of runners surged forward, their energy and enthusiasm palpable. Mike, however, moved slowly and painfully with each step. His body was screaming in protest, pushing him to his absolute limit. But his spirit refused to be deterred. As he moved forward, his determination grew stronger with each stride. His body might have been faltering, but his spirit soared, urging him to keep going. Hours turned into days as Mike continued his agonizing journey. The desert sun beat down on him relentlessly, testing not only his physical endurance, but also his mental fortitude. But he persevered, refused to let the burning sun or the aching in his bones slow him down. The roar of the crowd faded into the background as Mike entered the final stretch of the marathon. His body was on the verge of giving up, but his spirit refused to let it surrender. With a final surge of strength, he crossed the finish line. It wasn't just a marathon he had conquered. It was the walls within himself that he had truly broken through. In that moment, he realized that the race was never about speed, but about enduring until the end. And he had done exactly that. Mike's story spread like wildfire through the small town where he lived. People who once stared at him with pity in their eyes now looked at him with admiration and respect. His name became synonymous with courage and perseverance, and soon enough, his story reached far beyond the confines of his hometown. Mike had proven that physical limitations were no match for an indomitable spirit. He had shown the world that true victory wasn't about speed or perfection, but about enduring and finishing the race. In the years following the marathon, Mike continued to push his boundaries. He participated in various races, each one being a testament to his unwavering spirit. He became an inspiration not just for people with disabilities, but for anyone who had ever dared to dream beyond their perceived limitations. Through his sheer determination, Mike had shattered the notion that people with disabilities were incapable of extraordinary feats. He had become a living, breathing example of the resilience of the human spirit. Mike's story isn't just about physical endurance. It's about the strength of the human spirit. It's about the courage to face one's fears and the determination to succeed against all odds. His journey from a boy contemplating giving up on life to a man who conquered one of the world's toughest races is nothing short of miraculous. Through Mike's story, we learn that our bodies may have their limitations, but our minds have none. We learn that the seemingly insurmountable challenges can be overcome with sheer willpower and determination. Mike Schultz, the man with no legs who ran a marathon, reminds us that the truest battles are often fought not on physical terrains, but within the depths of one's own mind.
Oh.
So whenever you find yourself overwhelmed by the challenges of life, remember Mike's story.
Ow.
Remember his indomitable spirit and the fire that burned within him.
Ow.
Let his story be your reminder that the only limitations to your dreams are the ones you set for yourself. We hope Mike's story has inspired you to push past your perceived limitations and to never give up on your dreams. Remember, the strength of the human spirit knows no bounds. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you enjoyed this narrative, don't forget to hit the like button below. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue sharing these incredible stories. Also, if you haven't already, consider subscribing. Get notified every time we release a new video, and be part of our growing community of individuals who believe in the power of storytelling. Once again, thank you for watching. Until next time, stay resilient, stay hopeful, and remember, the only limits are the ones we create for ourselves.